Hello, for today's week one's homework for statistics, I decided to do my problem first and then show how I went through it. I'm going to analyze the relationship between the hours spent studying and the number of coffee or tea consumed. So what I did for the first question, which was make the graph, I decided to do my y-axis as the number of cups of coffee or tea consumption, which were on the data they gave us 1, 2, 2, 3, 0, 1, which I then wrote on the graph 0, 1, 2, 3. On my x-axis, I did the hours spent studying, which in the data they gave us 3, 2, 1.5, 0.5, 4, and 2.5. And then for that, I did 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and then 4. And then how I matched them together was 3 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 2. And then I did 1.5 to 2, so 1.5 to 2. And then I did 0.5 to 3, 0.5 to 3, 4 to 0, so 4 to 0. And then 2.5 to 1, so 2.5 to 1. So that's how my graph came out for the first question. For the second questions, we were asked to find the mean of each variable. So to find the mean, we have to add all of the numbers that we were given and then divide by the numbers that we have. So for the x-axis, the hours spent studying, I got 3 plus 2 plus 1.5 plus 0.5 plus 4 plus 2.5, which gave me 13.5. And then I divided it by 6 because there's 6 numbers, which gave me 2.25. For the y-axis, the number of cups of tea and coffee consumed, we were given 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 0 plus 1. And that gives us 9. And then divided by 6, that is 1.5, which is what I got right here because there's 6 numbers. To keep on going, for our third questions, we were asked to find the standard deviation for each variable. So for the first one, I got hours spent studying, which I used the mean because that's what we are supposed to use. And we use this equation right here. So what I did was, for the xi, I used the numbers that we were given. And then for the x, I used the mean. So what I did was subtract. So 3 minus 2.25, 2 minus 2.25, 1.5 minus 2.25, 0.5 minus 2.25, and then 4 minus 2.25, which 2.5 minus 2.25 to the square root, all of them. And then what I got was all these numbers that were given to us, so to see. And then after I squared these numbers, I added them, which gave me these numbers right here in the calculator. And then once I add all these numbers, I am given 7.375, which I then divided by 5 because in the equation we are given numbers that were given minus 1, so that gives me 5. So I have 7.375 divided by 5, that gives us 1.475, and then I square root 1.475, and that gives us 1.214, which is 1.214. So this is how I find the standard deviation for the hours spent studying. So for the second one, the standard deviation for the number of cups or tea consumed, I did the same exact thing. I got the mean, I subtracted by every number that we were given to follow the equation, and then I squared it. I squared every answer, which then gave us these numbers, and then I added them, which gave me 5.5. And then I also did this part of the equation, which was numbers that were given minus 1, so 6 minus 1 is 5. So then I did 5.5 divided by 5, that is 1.1, and then I square rooted it. 1.1, that gave me 1.0488, so then I put 1.049. So to keep on going, number 4, we had to compute the Pearson's correlation for both variables. So in order to do this, we have to multiply the difference in mean for what we subtracted in the y and x. Using the formula, I calculated the correlations to see the strength and directions of the relationship. So I use this equation right here, which I then used these numbers that were given to us in the previous questions, which was the standard deviations. So once I got the numbers hours spent studying times the number of coffee tea consumed, I multiplied, which then gave me these numbers right here, which that helped me find the first part of the equation, which was negative 6.25. And then once I plugged it into the equation, because I'm not done yet, I got negative 6.25. And then we have the 5, where we subtracted here. And then we have the standard deviation of x, which is the number of studies. And then the standard deviation of y, which is the number of coffee or tea consumed. And then we have to multiply these, because as shown in the equation. So then I got this right here. So this is a negative. So we would do 5 times 1.214 times 1.049, which would give me 6.367. And then I rounded up to a 6.37. And then I did negative 6.25 divided by 6.37. That gave me around negative 0.98. And that is how I found the Pearson's correlation for the two variables. And then for number 5 is describe your findings. What does the correlation suggest? So the correlation coefficient of a negative 0.98 shows a very strong relationship between the two variables that were given to us, because the closed R is either negative 1 or 0, and then that's how strong the relationship is. Yet the coefficient is negative, which means one variable increases and the other one decreases. And they will have opposite directions towards each other, which is shown in the graph. Thank you.